Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're unpacking a really compelling collection. It's Mehrdad Khameneh's Daughter of the Sea from 2025.
Right, and it's this bilingual edition, English and Croatian.
Exactly. And what strikes you immediately is this profound tension, right? It asks us to kind of synthesize two very different worlds.
Yeah, that tension is absolutely core. You've got chapter 1, which is, well, it's philosophical. It's about finding home, set in places like Sali, Zadar, Paris. Quite tranquil. And then you just slam right into chapter 2. Woman, life, freedom, Iran, 2019, 2025. It's immediate. It's raw political protest.
So the real task for us today, I think, is to see how Khameneh actually weaves these two realities together. You know, how does that abstract search for home
connect to the very concrete fight for survival, for resistance?
Exactly. Let's start where he starts, maybe, with that Naguib Mahfouz quote used as a dedication.
Yeah, home is not where you were born. Home is where all your attempts to escape cease. It sets up this idea that home is a state you arrive at, not just a place.
And what's interesting is how the poet seems to suggest right away that language is key to reaching that state. If you can't articulate freedom, well, are you free?
Precisely, and that really comes through in the poem dedicated to Wittgenstein, The Limit of My Language. It's central to that first chapter.
The transparent cage idea. He writes, the limit of my language is a slender thread between what I know and what I do not. It really makes you think, especially about displacement or restriction. How do you even grasp things like the sacred, the brave, the forsaken, if the words themselves feel inadequate or veiled?
Well, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why those artistic dedications in chapter 1 matter so much. Yeah. He's referencing filmmakers, right? Godard, Anna Karenina.
Hero, The Beautiful Madman, yeah. And Hitchcock, too.
Right. It's like he's looking to film, to these constructed narratives, to find a kind of freedom or structure that maybe language alone isn't giving him. It's a search for an anchor, narrative, and geographical.
Okay, but what happens if that search stalls? If that slender thread of language breaks? It feels like such a leap from this philosophical quest to the sheer violence in the next chapter.
Well, I don't think it's replaced exactly. It's more like it's answered violently. Chapter 2 is the answer.
And that title slogan, woman, life, freedom.
He's very clear. It's not a metaphor, not a secret. It's a code. A vivid symbol, a clear message, as he puts it.
And this is where the poetry becomes almost like testimony. It grounds the resistance in these specific, incredibly painful events. The source material is quite graphic.
It is. He forces you, the reader, to confront it. Think about the poem Falafel Sandwich. It references that awful December 2019 incident.
The homeless woman.
Yes, who sold herself because she was, quote, hungry for 2 days. He calls that moment the grave of your honor, the grave of your justice. It's devastating. It links systemic failure directly to human cost.
And the political defiance is just as stark. That piece, Head Trauma.
Armida Jerevan. The student struck on the Tehran subway, reportedly by the morality police, just for her outfit. It becomes this symbol of the constant daily pressure and danger of just being.
It's all conformity.
Right. And that refusal to yield extends even to the self in a really harrowing way. There's that reference to Tumash Solehi.
The imprisoned rapper.
Yes. Performing a root canal on himself in prison, using a mass wire and salt. It's in the poem Numbing the Pain.
Wow.
It's a symbol of, I guess, agonizing self-reliance, confronting the rotten tooth of the system when there's literally no other help.
It's incredibly bleak, but there's also this thread of memory, isn't there, connecting the chapters, like the seashells.
Ah, yes, the poem Seashells. It's powerful. Instructing comrades to use shells, these bits of the sea, representing maybe that freedom sought in chapter 1 to mark the unmarked graves that cover Iran.
So the salt of the sea from Croatia
becomes a tool for political remembrance in Iran. It ties the escape and the fight together beautifully, I think.
So ultimately, the collection seems to reframe death itself.
I think so. He brings in Mayakovsky, another poet who knew political struggle and a tragic end.
Right.
And argues that in this context, death isn't an end. It's the beginning and the continuation of life until the final battle. The sea, the place of escape, its elements become symbols of defiance.
The source material has this line, that poetry exists so that if tomorrow brings light, how terrifying it would be if only the corpses bear witness. It suggests the act of recording is defiance.
Absolutely. Refusing to be silenced.
So here's something maybe for you, the listener, to think about. The collection talks about needing to retain anger, specifically in the poem Revenge. How does holding on to that anger and then articulating it through poetry How does that transform the art into, well, a critical historical record, making sure that future generations understand the true cost of being human in that fight?